friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do a bit of a repot and chat video and just put some stuff on some like supports. So I'm going to be doing a video similar to how I did the self-watering pots. I'm doing a trial, I'm doing an experiment to see how I like these different supports. So I have 3 different types here, and then the control is the one that I love, my Grow Vertical poles, which I use everywhere. So I've got 3 different types here today that I'm gonna pot stuff in. It's not really about them. This is gonna be more of a chat video, so yeah. This is just me putting them on, and I thought I would take you through with me doing it, because why not? And then while I do that, I figured I would talk a little bit about my personal background. We'll get into that a bit more deeply. If you are new here and you don't know me already, my name is Emma and I make houseplanting content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanting journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos, and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new here, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. Right, let's get into this. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to put my Monster Dubia, which if you saw my December updates video, you would have seen me pull out of the cabinet. It's okay. I want to get it to shingle. Obviously I hadn't given it something to shingle, but I'm going to try by giving it a pole. So we're going to repot it onto this pole. Hopefully this works. I really don't know. I have not had much success with dubias in my time, so it's fine. But while I do that, basically I got a bunch of comments on my vlog video I did with Claire, and maybe even the blindfolded plant guessing one, saying like, oh my god, your accent changes so much. Like when you speak to Claire, blah blah blah, like where are you from, I don't, like, why is your accent like that? And I'm like, well, it's complicated. So I figured I would explain it to all of you. Basically, I'll start from the beginning. I am a dual citizen. Woo! I grew up in California, in America, in LA to be more specific, and my mom is American and my dad is British. My dad lived almost his whole life in England until he was doing a job in Germany, met my mom, and they did long distance for a while between California and Germany / the UK, and then like eventually got married, etc., and lived in California. And so I grew up in California, and I have dual nationalities because my dad is British and my mom is American. I was born in America. I lived my entire life up until I was 22 in the States. So I grew up in LA. I went and did my undergraduate degree in the States as well. I did it at the University of San Diego. Go Toreros. Not that I care about that kind of stuff, but I did my degree in visual arts with like a focus in photography and drawing, kind of through printmaking. And so basically I grew up in California, lived my whole life in California. I miss California. California is great. If you ever get a chance to go there, I highly recommend it. It is an absolutely lovely place to like be. The sun is nice, and the like being by the ocean is amazing, and I miss it so much. But then when I was graduating, I was like, what should I do? Like where should I go? Like I didn't feel like I was ready to get a job at the age of 22. And when I say job, I meant like full-time job. I had been working throughout my entire schooling part-time. So it's not like I'd never had a job. I just didn't feel like full-time was the right thing for me. 9 to 5 sounded like the worst thing in the world. And I still kind of believe that. Like, that just never seemed like the life that would be correct for me. And so I applied to do a master's degree. I thought that what I wanted was to be a professor of art, because I had some really, really great teachers and professors growing up that like really, really, really inspired me to be the best artist I could be, and I really, really, really wanted to be that for somebody else. And so I figured the only way I could do that would be to get a higher degree, or like the highest degree in that field, which in the States, we don't really have PhDs in art. I know they have them here in the UK, but we don't really have PhDs in art. It's not really a thing. So the highest degree would be a master's degree, and then I could just be a professor or a tutor at university level. And I was like, that sounds like what I want. And so I decided I wanted to get a master's degree. And I decided that I wanted to get this master's degree in the UK. Like, I'm not totally sure why I decided that the UK was going to be the right place. I think it was because I had the dual citizenship, so I knew I could just, like, very easily live here. I didn't need to worry about getting a visa or anything like that. And Brexit had happened. Not like, we hadn't, like, gone through with it, but it had been voted on at this point. And so I knew I couldn't, like, go stay in Europe, like, proper Europe. So I was like, well, okay, it'll be the UK then. So I applied to a few schools in the UK. I think I applied to Portsmouth and the Royal College of Art and Goldsmiths. And I was like, okay, well, one of these will stick. If not, I'll just go live there, work for a little while in the UK, and then apply again the following year. Very, very lucky to have gotten into the RCA, like, immediately. So it's quite uncommon, at least in the art world, to get into a master's program right away. A lot of people apply and then just don't get in, which is pretty intense. Like, but I was the second youngest person on my course at RCA out of 60 people. And so, like, it's just one of those things that, like, most people take some time, like, do their practice, and then come at it again when they're a little bit older. Which is totally fair, totally fine. I just didn't feel like I was ready to do that, and, like, I felt like continuing school was the right thing for me. It's all I had ever known, really, and so it's kind of like my comfort zone a little bit as well. And so I got into the RCA, Royal College of Art, for photography, which is like my main, what I studied mainly in my undergrad. Though I did do like painting and drawing and printmaking, and I didn't do any sculpture. But yeah, like I did a bit of everything. Art is kind of my thing. I enjoy it. I love drawing. I'm not very good at it, but it takes practice, right? And so I moved to the UK to do my master's degree. And it was a 2-year degree, and so I knew I was going to be living in the UK for at least 2 years and studying here and, like, getting my master's degree. And my thought going into it was probably like, oh, you're gonna finish your master's degree, move back to the States, and then go become a teacher of art somewhere. And then I discovered my love for plants. So this is before I liked plants. I didn't even know that plants were a thing. Oh my god, I can't even believe that I didn't know in California. Like, I knew plants were a thing, but, like, it was just never something huge. I was part of the gardening club at university, but, like, not indoor gardening. It was all, like, outdoor food gardening, like, small farm kind of vibes. And so, oh god, I'm just, like, really, not annoyed at myself, but, like, could you imagine if I had, like, learned to love plants in the States, in California, where the weather is, like, literally perfect for plants all of the time? That would have been freaking fantastic. So I'm, like, a little bit, like, kicking myself for not knowing about plants then. But during my master's degree, I started discovering plants, and I met Joe my first winter in the UK, and we like obviously got together, like each other, and like just having a good time together, being in a relationship. And I started my YouTube channel kind of as a hobby. Like maybe this will go somewhere, maybe it won't, like who cares, I'm having fun. So this is the first pole. So I've wound the dubia up a bit and I've kind of attached it on, so hopefully it'll start shingling. We will see if it does. I am not wholly convinced that it will, so we'll see. I really want it to though, because that would be awesome. So yeah, that's that. I normally attach the poles to my pots, but this one's a bit small, this pole. So this is a pole from moss.poles on Instagram. It is their small size one, and I just got soil ninja sphagnum moss in it. That one is done. Good stuff. I'm now going to use this one, which is a Grow Thickly moss pole. I got this one from Eastern Tropicals. I think they're a North American based brand, so I'm not too sure like where they are accessible, but I could get it in the UK just fine. It's just a bit of plastic. And I'm going to be putting the Ernestii on there because I think that would look nice. Should I do this size pot? Yeah, that's good. And I can't really attach this one either, so I'm not going to. I don't know if that's good or not. So I started liking plants. I made my YouTube channel. I absolutely hated doing the end of my degree. And it kind of put me off of photography. And like nothing against the RCA. Like it was fine. But like there was just a lot of bigger problems with it that just irked me, and they kind of like, they didn't like work it out of me, because like obviously I still make art kind of, but not in the same way. I'm still like a creative. Come on, get in there. But yeah, I just like had no desire to create basically after the end of my degree, which is kind of sad, but it's the truth of it. It's how it went. I really did not care about making any more art once I finished my degree. And so I got a job. I went and got a normal person job. I say normal person. I got an art job. So I worked for a major gallery in London as an art handler. I'm telling you like my whole life story. Why am I doing that? I don't know why I am. I just am. So enjoy it. So I got I got a job as an art handler, meaning I was the person or part of the team that put up and took down all of the art in the gallery, which was really cool. I got access to like literally millions of pounds worth of artwork, and I was just like putting it up on the wall, which was kind of fun. And like it sounds really cool. And on paper, it sounded like the perfect job for me because it wasn't behind a desk. I was moving around. There's like problem solving. I was working with my hands. All that like good stuff that I wanted in a job. Ooh, look at those roots. Those are pretty. And so on paper, it was like the perfect thing for me. But there was really no flexibility to that job. There were parts of it that I really enjoyed, and like looking back, you always look back with rose tinted glasses, don't you? And so there was bits that I liked, but I am immensely glad that I'm not doing that job anymore. And I know that sounds bad, but I would just like got massively depressed. And like I didn't find the job rewarding. I had no responsibility, which, not that I like desire a lot of responsibility, but like I like being a little bit of a leader, and in that job I felt like I could only be a follower. There was like no real massive room for growth, and it just felt it wasn't right for me in the end. And so I spent, oh god, like very nearly 3 years there, 2 years and 9 months, and that was fine. I went part-time part of the way through that, and I did part-time for like kind of the end bit of my time there, and then I was focusing on YouTube for the other part-time of that. And that is like when I really, I feel like I knew at that point when I was doing part-time YouTube, part-time this job, like doing this job, doing my plants and creating content and making videos and stuff, this is what I wanted to be doing. I just decided that I was going to go for it. I was going to take the plunge and like, obviously it's a little bit of a risk because this is not necessarily the most stable industry, but I was like, I'm going to do it. This is going to be, this is what I want. This is what I want to be doing long term. I'm going to go for it. And so I have gone for it, and I am honestly happier now than I have ever been. That sounds really bad, but like, I think my depression really went away. Not completely. There's still days when I don't feel great, and like nothing's ever perfect, is it? And like this is like I worked really, really hard in this job. As you can see, I've been putting out videos every freaking day for all of December. It's a lot of really hard work, but I am absolutely loving every second of it. So it's like, I'm not that mad about it. So I've been here for just over 5 years. In September, this past September was 5 years. And I don't have any current plans to go back to the States. Joe and I bought our flat, we love it. And I'm in a very happy relationship with the most lovely human ever who really supports me in so many ways and like has been really my rock and like the best thing that's ever happened to me, and like really, really helped me through literally some of the darkest times of my life when I was just like really, really, really bad. Not to get dark on y'all, but yeah, there was some points when it was just like I was not good. And you can probably see it in some of my videos if you go back to like a year ago. I was not doing well, and that's fine, but I feel so much better now, and I hope that it shows. Like, I don't think I didn't know how bad it was then because that's just how I was, but now looking back on it, I'm like, oh, that, I can't believe that that's how I was putting out videos. So, yeah. Anyways, I've potted up the Ernesti on the Grow Thickly pole, and hopefully that will do it good. This one, I think I'll probably have to move into the Redsta cabinet because it is quite tall. I was gonna put the El Choco Red on this one, but I'm kind of not in the mood to do that now, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to do the last one on this pole. I'll put on the screen what this type of pole is. I got this one from Grow Tropicals. It's hollow, but it like mimics bark. I think it's made from potato skins and elephant grass, and it's supposed to mimic bark, and so it's good for climbing plants. And so I am going to give it a go, see how I like it, because I don't think you need to like keep it wet or anything, which is interesting. But I'm going to be putting the Discoria Discolor in there. I think I'll just have to do that. Lay it down. Which has been growing really well. You will have seen this one in my December updates video as well. I talked about it for a little bit there, and I'm like, oh, I'm just so happy with this plant. It is doing so well for me, and I'm so excited. Oh, yes. And hopefully it'll like this pole, it'll like something to climb. I'm pretty sure they like trellises and stuff as well, so it doesn't necessarily need a pole like this, but I'm giving it a go, because that's what I want to do. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, and if it doesn't, then I'll try something else on this kind of pole. I actually have a bigger one of it as well, a taller one of this pole, so that's fun. Did I talk about everything? So I talked about how I came to the UK and how I got here and how I started this job, kind of. I think I have videos on like how I got into houseplants in general, so I'm not going to talk about that. But oh, my accent. So many people were commenting on my accent. So I am completely like not conscious of it. I don't have really any control over my accent. That sounds really weird, but essentially I think it's because I grew up with one British speaking parent and one American speaking parent. Not that they're different language, but you know what I mean, like different dialects, different accents. And so I always had British people in my life. We watched some British TV, all that kind of stuff, and it was always there. And then I think like subconsciously my mind wants to like feel included, if that makes sense. Not feel included, that's the wrong word, but like to fit in and not feel different, because like being an American in the UK, a lot of people don't like Americans, unfortunately, and especially in other countries, and so it's kind of like maybe it's a bit of a survival tactic to like sound more British. Like if I'm out and like I run into someone, or like I'm asking someone something in a shop or something, I tend to have a British accent. I do not do it on purpose. It's not like something that I control. It just happens, which I think is a little bit weird, but also a part of me, and I kind of like it. And it just like, it's completely non-controlled. And so if I'm speaking to a British person, I will probably be more British. If I'm speaking to an American person, I'll probably be more American. Since I am speaking to myself filming this video, it typically comes out quite American, but it depends on what I'm speaking about as well. And I can go quite British if I really want to. I can like put on, I'd say, a decent British accent. Not like, but I have to really concentrate in order to stay in one or the other. Or I can talk really, really, really American, and if I'm speaking to Brits, I have to really concentrate to not use any, like, British words. But it's like when you're saying chips. Give me some chips. Can I have some chips, please? You wouldn't say, can I have some chips, please? Like, it sounds wrong and weird, so, yeah. Anyways, I have attached this one here. I think I'm just gonna put a little bit of garden velcro around it, but not much, and we'll see how it goes. Side note, so this is actually really cool. I've just got some garden velcro here, and because this pole is kind of like the rough side of velcro, the garden velcro sticks to it, not as like sturdily as it would the other side of the velcro, but enough to like hold the plant on without having to go all the way around. So that's just a bit of fun. And it's working. How cool is that? But yeah, that is it. That's me putting some stuff on some supports. I hope they like them. In a couple of months, I will come back to these plants and talk about how they're doing, if they're doing well, if they like the supports, if I like the supports, and if I think they're doing well supporting the plant. We'll get to that. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about me and my story, and why I sometimes speak with a British accent, even though it's completely unintentional. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up down below and comment any other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about. If you want to see me review these moss poles in a couple months, let me know, and I can try and make that happen. Anyone else out there who's either dual citizen, where are you from, or like if you were an expat, if you're living in a country that you didn't like grow up in, let me know your experience down below. Do you have the same thing? Do you speak in like different dialects or accents like I do? I'm curious. I hope I'm not the only one. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more, and I will see you next time. Bye! You're too far away, but like, bye!